Hey, 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 this is your recap Aunty. Hey, y'all. Hey, this is Char. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, y'all. Hello. We are here, baby, to do a recap. Not a full recap. We're going to recap, as much as we can of episode number 2, season 3 of Reasonable Doubt, honey. One of the best shows in my world, baby. I really didn't think I was going to like this shit, but I love it. I really do enjoy this damn show. So I'm here to go ahead and do my recap. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So what is we doing now? I want you to walk out that door and I want you to come back in here and say that to me one more again. This is Jax, baby. We open up with her talking with Lewis, and he says, look, yeah, she wants me to spend the night, one night. We both agree that what she wants ain't that logical, but that's what she wants in order for her to drop the lawsuit. So Jax is like, I mean, I understand that, but you bending her over one last time was not part of the thought process that I was thinking about her. So he goes into more talking about, well, that's not what he want, neither. He just, bitch want him to just go over there and talk about Jaden and show him damn pictures and probably yell at him for a couple of hours and all this other bullshit. So he talking about, yeah, she wants some closure. So Jack's like, closure? Okay, whatever. He was like, wait a minute. After all the therapy we went through, after all the growth and everything else, he said, you still don't trust my ass? It's like, I don't think it's not, she trusts you because she went to therapy with you. It's that bitch she don't trust. That's what I feel. She was like, wait a minute, you think all this shit is about trust? He said, well, what else could it be? She said, I want you to walk out that fucking door, ask anybody that you see, and ask and see if what you're telling me sounds reasonable to them, remotely reasonable to their ass. He was like, wait a minute, there are many things that's happened between us, honey, that have been, very unreasonable, maybe unrighteous, outrageous. But he was like, but we still here. He goes on talking about he don't need nobody outside of their marriage to co-sign to what's going on. He don't give a fuck about nobody. So he keeps telling her, he can't do this shit no more. Because again, I think they've been going on a year going through this lawsuit with this bitch. So he's like, I can't do it anymore. Can you? So while she's trying to answer him, Daniel calls her and tells her like, look, yo, Daniel, Asian, but he be trying to sound like he one of us. Yo, there's a rumor about a little video that's finna come out about our friend's missing girlfriend out there about the surface. So yeah. So she hangs up from Daniel and tells Lewis like, look, I gotta go, honey. I need some time to think about this shit. Give me about 24 hours. Wow. He said, all right, I give you that time. He said, but you do know that ain't nothing gonna happen between me and Tony, right? She said, yes, but does she? That's a good question. That's a real good damn question. So she leaves. So the next scene we see them fussing on the camera. Not talking about Ozzy and Wendy. I'm Ozzy fucking Edwards. And nobody give a fuck who you are. Wendy tells him, I ain't one of those IG bitches. All this other back and forth. This is from the neighbor's ring camera. They outside just cutting up, honey. So Ozzy asked Jack, what the fuck you get this? She was like, off your neighbor's where ring camera, TZT, I guess that's TMZ gossip place. TZT, yeah, they got it from your neighbor. But my real question is, when were you gonna tell me this happened? He was like, look, yes, we fought. She, that's what she do. She was just pissed. That wasn't nothing. I ain't think I needed to talk to you about that shit. So we found out that they was fussing and fighting because he was trying to get her to sign that damn NDA. Yeah, I think I talked about this earlier. So she had asked him, what did you do after that argument? He said, nothing. I came in here and fell the fuck asleep. She's like, that's interesting, because if it were me, if I was that damn pissed, there's no way. As you looked at that video, you look fucking pissed. There's no way I would have been able to, just drift off to La La Land. He was like, wait a minute, you tell me you don't believe me. She's like, honey, what I'm saying is that you already got a case against you. So, once all this information get out in public and drop, baby, we could pretty much go straight to negotiating your arrest. So she tells him, I just need the truth. That is the truth, he said. She said, look, listen to me clearly, nigga. Because every move you make from here and on out matter. Your ass is a suspect in this fucking murder. So every reporter, every social media junkie, everybody who is a specialist has been analyzing how your ass has been behaving since the moment this fucking video gonna drop. So I need for you to watch it. All this shit, think about when OJ was driving in that Bronco with the, pow to his head, the Menendez brothers at the basketball. All of this is painting a picture of how everybody will see you and could possibly paint you into the person that you are who could have committed this quote unquote crime. She saying, guess what, nigga? They do not have to wait until they find Wendy's ass to arrest your ass and put you on trial. He was like, are you serious? She was like, I could go on and on and on. He was like, what am I supposed to do? She said, no, what you need to do, nigga, is put your own money up as a reward to find her ass. You, in addition to that, your ass is going to keep calling her, reach out to her friends, keep calling her ass, look like the person who gave a fuck to find his girlfriend. I do want to find her, he said. She said, then start acting like it. I tell you this, that damn Jax, she be wearing whatever she fucking want to in this office. You hear me? She got this bad off the shoulder sweater. This thing is nice. You could tell that it was made for just her body. So she's sitting at the office with the big wigs, and they was like, wait a minute, so the video could be very damaging. She was like, yeah, so I, elected to have Bill come on the case and work with me on this damn shit. So, but everybody else is buttoned up, white lady got her turtleneck on, but Jax gonna dress like she get ready to go to like a damn ball or something like that. So she gives them also some more tea that, he already talked to the cops and that Wendy's assistant had already reported Wendy missing, high profile people. So the head lawyer is like, that's wonderful. A client, a high profile, wealthy client who is absolutely lost without representation. So he need us before we need him. And somebody was like, well, with any luck, Wendy's body will never be found and Ozzy can keep us on retainer indefinitely. She was like, well, with any hope, Jack says, I hope the shit is found. So she was like, I can battle proof all day, but speculation is going to be a challenge. So anyway, she goes to the public defender. He's been in like all 3 seasons. He looks good too, like he lost some weight and cut his hair. So she goes and asks him, same with her little one shoulder sweater on, are you looking for Wendy or her Wendy's body? Because I need to know what's the tea. He was like, well, why are you coming to me and not the chief of police? She's like, nice try, because I know your ass already talked to the chief, and I know that you did because Ozzy Edwards is involved. So I'm just getting straight to the chase, honey. I need for you to stop wasting my time and answer my fucking question. Please. So Miguel tells her, look, as of right now, it's still a missing persons, thing. She's like, but he was like, but, being that Wendy has been missing for 3 days, anybody would have reason to believe that this shit could turn into a homicide investigation. So Jax was like, okay, so the answer to my question that I asked earlier about whether you're looking for Wendy or the body is both. Okay, gotcha. So the quick scene after that, we see Daniel finds Wendy's assistant, Nisha. He's trying to shake her hand. He introduces himself, and she looking at him with her arms folded like, I ain't touching your ass. And he says he's there to represent Ozzy's team, so her ass don't trust him. I see that motherfucker has lawyered up. No wonder he ain't been answering my calls. That's Nisha's attitude, honey. So Daniel was like, well, what can you tell me about Wendy's alleged disappearance? Wait a minute, motherfucker. There ain't nothing alleged about that shit. Hungover, tired, sick. Wendy ain't missing no photo shoot. So you were able to file a police report, he says. She says, I wasn't able to find the damn air tags that we normally sew into our designer bag. So I went to the police and they were able to track that shit. Which all that shit was found on the 91 freeway. I heard the 91 freeway is hell. Get back at Ozzy's old evil ass house. Yeah, they told me about the purse. Jax was like, what? Why the fuck you didn't tell me? So Bill is there listening on. He talking about he don't know he forgot. She was like, another fucking thing you ain't share with me. His mama was like, boy. He said, look, I'm sorry, but there was so much going on in that damn night. She broke it down. Jax was like, look, Ozzy, here's the thing. 75% of these type of crimes are due to intimate violence, domestic violence. If there's evidence that your ass so much as grabbed Wendy's too firmly, they will damn assume that not only is your ass violent, but you're a liar too. Which is why you hid your white girlfriend from the entire world. Yeah, that's the reason why, he tried to come off all smart. No, Jax is right. It's time enough for his ass. She said, but when that relationship started to reach public, baby, it met its inevitable conclusion. Murder. Pops was like, nah. This some gone girl shit. She doing fine. Because we at his house. His parents is there. The management, Brandy, the manager is there. Bill is there. Everybody's there. So Ozzy's like, yeah, look, I agree. She's just punishing me because I yelled at her ass. Look, she's just missing. And why the fuck is everybody looking at me like I fucking did something? That's what he says. She says, look, because your ass, Jack says, Your ass don't have no real damn alibi. Considering the fact that your ass was home alone all night long and you have nothing or no one to confirm that shit. You were the last person that saw Wendy's ass alive, and since you've already talked to the cops, you've placed yourself at a disadvantage, sir. And so Bill tries to intervene. Well, that is why our counsel is so important. We're going to be right there with you. We know what all the steps to take, and we're going to be guiding you. Try to sound all nice and humble. Go ahead, Bill. So Jax asked Ozzy, did you take all the steps that I laid out for your ass yesterday? He says shit. She said, you see, I know that everyone else does what's best for your career, but it's my damn job to treat you like someone who might be on trial for murder. Then somebody yells out, stop saying murder. She could still be alive. And Jax is looking like, who this bitch? Who this? So Ozzy says, sorry about that. That's my sister, Kristen. Yeah. Why did you intervene, Kristen? I don't like you. Jax was really says like, okay, Kristen, all right, you better hope they find Wendy, whether she's alive or not, honey. So he was like, okay, enough. Ozzy says, look, if the only thing that's making me feel guilty and look guilty is hiring big time lawyers like y'all. All right. So yeah, I think we call it here. All right. So she was like, call. Jax was up. So he walks out like he make this grand speech and left. So Bill was like, is he firing us? And Brandy was like, look, let's all take a breath. She was like, Jax was like, no need for that, honey. Because if he's going to dig his own fucking grave, he don't need 2 shovels. I fucking quit. So she leaves, and so Bill follows her. He was like, well, that was a pretty rash decision. She was like, actors tend to be dramatic. Yes, we do. Yes, we is. We real dramatic. Very. So he was like, yeah, I understand that, but no offense. You do seem to be a bit impulsive and reckless. So how do we break this to the partners? Yeah. She says we don't, because once that fucking video drops, he won't be little Ozzy anymore. He's going to be Mr. Edwards, the murderer, honey. Then we'll damn see who's calling whose ass. And she walks away too. I'm like, everybody making these dramatic speeches and walking away. So we're back at the house. Jax is back home in her robe. We see Lewis on his computer trying to work and think and work. So she says, hey, I thought about it. And she gave him this envelope that's terms and conditions in there. She says, if Tony doesn't want to sign that shit within the first 5 minutes, you will walk. And after you've spent 12 hours together with that bitch, we're released from any type of liability. Also, if your ass decide to do this shit, I want you to text me every fucking hour and also sprinkling in a phone call in there, He says, of course. She said, I love you, Lewis, so much, and I trust you. But my ass ain't the one who has to stay there with her. It's you. So it's up to you if you want to go. But if she tries to fuck you, I will kill y'all both. When I tell you I love this show, I ain't got to try much, y'all, to use these damn words. Period. I'm just, I won't try to kill him. I already told y'all that he knows he don't like it, but drop fuck if you want to. Both of y'all gonna be joining little Jaden on the other side. He said, okay. Next scene, Lewis went on over there that night because it was dark outside. She opens the door, Tony. Hey, Lewis, what's going on? So he goes in. She said, I'm sorry I haven't gotten nothing to drink. He said, I'll just take some water. She's like, I didn't think your ass was going to come. She said, but I had to remind myself that you are one of the men, the main men who will always show the fuck up. So he pulls that same envelope that Jax gave him. He pulls it out of his jacket and give it to her. What's that? She says. He says, a document that ensures that this shit ends tonight. So she looks at it. Wow. Looks like Jax is scrambling for an ounce of control. No, that's her husband. That is her husband, girl. He flat-footed and says, I can't stay if you don't sign that shit. And if I don't sign it, you ain't get what you want. I mean, if I don't sign it and you leave, then Jax doesn't get what she wants. So she folds it up and puts it in her pocket and tells him that she's going to sign it. I will let her sign that shit first. Then she said something crazy shit. She said she going to sign it after they finish the nursery. Girl, he gone, girl. How you? Damn, they go upstairs, baby. She had already did the nursery, and it is wonderful. Oh my God. So she said that she figured that she would decorate it like little games, like just in case he became a game nerd like his pappy. Wow. That's deep. That's so deep. So she said she didn't want to do this alone. So, yeah. So she was like, at least you had Jax to help you with your bedroom for Jaden, because just in case he did the custody thing, you got a bedroom over there, you got a bedroom over here. So he was like, well, shit, I didn't even get a chance to put a nursery together at our house. Damn. She said, lucky you. So she looks at a little onesie, and Lewis is a really huge Philadelphia Eagles fan, so she had a little jersey with the number 1 with Jalen Hurts' number on the back for Jaden. So it was laying on like a little mommy chair. You know how mommy rockers was laying over there. So she said, I know how much you love the Eagles. So when I saw it, I knew that you would love seeing him in it. Wow. This is heavy. Damn, he said, man, I guess that is hard. So as he turns around, he asks her, what are those? Because she had her back toward child. You know how women, we have our baby showers. They had already given her a baby shower. So she had all these baby bags sitting over there on the dresser. Gifts, like boxes and shit. Whew. This puts a reality in Lewis's face now. He understands it was more than just losing a child. It's like she was planning. She has a baby monitor in there, toys, wall art, gifts, rockers. So she says, Tony was like, I feel like I want to just donate it, but I can't. He was like, look, let's just sort through it together, and then we'll find everything a new home. Okay, you don't have to do this by yourself. So we hear Naima's voice. I might have to call her baby girl. Naima's voice. Wait, where's Dad? So we're back at the house, and so Jax tells her he had to work late tonight. Wow, the tables have turned. We're not going to spend no time on this particular scene. Because I feel like baby girl is just trying to be, she missed her bro so bad, and you just trying to be a bitch to everybody. So next. Okay, so while she was talking, baby girl finally left because she was being fucking nosy and stuff. So, yeah, she finally gets her first text from Lewis. Lewis like made it, helping her take down the nursery. I think we'll be all okay. Love you. And she looking like whatever. Jax ain't feeling this shit at all. So she just put a heart on the message, and that was it. So she's so fucking stressed. If y'all don't know from the last 2 seasons, Jax is a smoker. So she was looking underneath the bed. She has all of her little vittles underneath her. She has a jewelry box. And so she lifts up the jewelry box to find her little, what they call it, Mary Jane. So she was finna do that. And she already just stopped smoking like last season, like cigarettes. So she was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing it. So while she's trying to look through, to find her little smoke, she tried to put it to her mouth, and she was like, this is some bullshit. This is sad. I ain't doing that. So she put the jewelry box back underneath her bed so she could just, just not be worried about that's bullshit with Tony and with Lewis. So she calls somebody, and guess who she calls? Chanel. Chanel is home. Y'all know she got released from jail. So she calls her girl and tells her what the fuck happened about Tony and her indecent proposal. So she just tells her, about the lawsuit, and then Tony says she would drop it if Lewis spends one night with her. And so Chanel's like, girl, you better than me. Well, are they fucking or no? Jax was like, no, bitch. He says that they're taking down the nursery, girl. It's fine. I'm fine, girl. So Chanel was like, girl, is that the reason why you call me? I mean, girl, Jax is like, girl, we've been through a lot of bullshit these last couple of years. I mean, and I think it's very irrational of me to think that one night is just going to fuck up our marriage of all the shit that we work through, right? Right, bitch? So Chanel was like, okay, yeah, sure, right. It's okay to make a decision and then question that shit. Sometimes the heart and the mind ain't on the same damn team. And that is so true, because your heart might want one piece of thing, and your mind be like, girl, fuck off. So yeah, you got to make sure that thing matching, baby. Jax is like, girl, this is so much easier when I was like, fuck you, nigga, I don't need you, bye. Chanel says, girl, you love him, girl. She's like, for what it's worth, sis, I don't think that Lewis would jeopardize anything that you guys have. So Chanel says, especially with Honey. When I tell you I love the way Chanel thinks and talks, her voice is so sultry and sexy and low-key. I love her energy. I really do. She's cool as fuck. So Jax was like, girl, that shit never gets old. I guess they've been doing that since they was young. You know, sometimes when you have a bitch out there that you ain't feeling, you gonna make up a name, whether it's Porky Pig, whether it's Petunia, whether it's Honey. You been a mean girl, you got your girls and you can make up little stupid ass, crazy ass names with. Yeah, that never gets old. So they hang up. I thought that was a sweet moment. So after she hangs up the phone with Chanel, her phone bings, and so she sees a post from TZT saying that Ozzy or OJ. Damn. Bombshell door cam video drops of star fighting with missing girlfriend. Damn. Wow. So, Jax is with her famous fuck scream. So the next scene we see Wendy's sister and Wendy's assistant, giving like a interview with the media. If anybody knows anything that they could do to help find Wendy, please let us know. One of the reporters was like, do you think that the reason why Ozzy is here is because he knows where her whereabouts are? We don't know. He's the last one who saw her. I mean, it's real funny that he ain't returning our phone calls. But he wants to say that he, loved her and all this other bullshit. He need to tell us where the fuck she, just being all emotional. And of course, reporters do what reporters do, honey. They just egg them on, And her old extra ass assistant looking in the camera. Where the fuck is you, Ozzy? With her glasses on. It's pitch black, dark. So she trying to cover her eyes as if she been doing all this damn crying and shit. So next we see Bill in his office looking at the interview that the sister and the assistant gave. So the partners walk by and say, oh, look at our guy. He's up there working late night hours. It gets worse before it gets better. He's like, I'm looking forward to it, Bill says. So as they were about to walk away, Bill says, we lost the fucking case. And they was like, what? He says, well, actually, Ozzy fired us. So they said, what the fuck happened? So because they trying to figure out why Jax didn't say anything to them. He says, look, Jax didn't say anything because she's very confident that his ass will change his mind. I wasn't going to say anything, but I felt like y'all needed to know. Bill is trying to slide in there and, change that last name, Stewart, to his fucking last name. I see you, Snake. So he drags and throws down Jax under the bus and says that her confidence is overconfidence. He's like, there's no shade on her. But he feels that, they shouldn't have given up so quickly on Ozzy once he fired them. So they should have stood their ground, made that guy, tell them that it was a huge fucking mistake of dropping them from his case. So this softer side of the guy who plays Bill is so weird because we're so used to seeing him as tough guy, leather jacket wearing Tommy from Power. I have to get used to that. But I looked at Power. I haven't seen the other versions of Power. Did I? I think I saw a little bit of Power with when 50 Cent was young. I can't remember that shit. But anyway, this softer side is real crazy. So we're back at the next scene with Ozzy and his family. So Brandy says, look, I'll make sure that I find a replacement to replace Jack soon. Perfect. And they just looking at the video again and looking at the damn assistant, like, where's this bum ass boyfriend? What the fuck? Just really being evil and ghetto. Okay, is there something wrong with him? Because he's reading the comments underneath the article. He was like, why is all this happening? His mom was like, look, baby, it's okay. She's talking to him real calm. It's okay. Don't pay attention to those comments. They're all bots. He said, well, why don't we have some fucking bots? Okay, look, calm down. It's like, what the fuck? Does he have like some type of imbalance there? Because they're really trying to keep him calm. So they are reassuring him, like Brandy, that's his manager, and mom and dad. We love you. You are Ozzy motherfucking Edwards. Practically America's favorite sitcom baby. Superstar, baby. The world loves your ass. Not if you a black man killing a white woman. Mm-mm. So after Brandy tells him, look, he about to pop up, with a damn great ass franchise bigger than the MCU. You a legend, baby. So while she talking, we LAPD, nigga, Orcel Edwards, open up and stand out. I was like, damn, that was quick. His little time on the mountaintop was really cut short. Oh shit, the cops come in there and they, looking at him, and they found out that Wendy's phone has been tracked at that address. So her phone is in his house somewhere. And so the cops is trying to try to find that fucking phone. Ozzy's pappy was like, hey, nigga, y'all can't just come up in here. And the cop was like, yes, we can. Gave him the warrant. Now, either y'all asses stay out the way or go outside. It's up to you. But we're going to find any phones, any electronic devices of Wendy's and his. We need every fucking thing. And when I tell you they are ransacking the fuck out of those people's houses, it's like, fuck all this nice shit. And he looking all crazy with this. You hear this like this long damn signal. It's like that goes off in his head. That boy got some issues. Y'all got to tell us, come on, run us what's going on with Ozzy. Bum ass boyfriend. Where is you, Ozzy? Bum ass boyfriend. Where are you, Ozzy? We see Jax at the house looking at the feed of people talking about Ozzy really bad and keep running that reel of the assistant calling him a bum ass boyfriend. So yeah. Jax is like, yeah, y'all fired our asses. So while she's checking it, Lewis sends her a text and he's like, sorry, baby, I haven't called. Trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Making good progress. Love you. She's like, the fuck? Making good progress. So she took a deep breath because she's pissed, but she took the high road. She says, okay, thanks for letting me know. Love you too. And she slammed her phone on her desk. So she's busy pacing and like, oh shit. I'm just like so concerned about what the fuck's going on. You know. So while she's pacing and, you know, just thinking, because that would be me. I would be if my man and his ex, you know, somebody he kicked it with, they say they wanted one night with him. Of course, y'all already, if you know me, if you're new to the channel, welcome. But I'm the type that if you do it, I'm doing it, nigga. Shit. But if they had something solid, then she has to be okay with it because we know Jax has done it plenty of times in season 1, definitely. Anyway, while she's pacing, we see that Mr. Cash, Corey Cash, is calling her right now. Let me guess. Ozzy called you, she says. He was like, yeah, he did. Can we talk in person? I'm right outside. Like, damn, you just assumed that I was here. You know, man, what if I was, you know, fucking my husband or something like that? You just come over. Okay, I mean, he said, yeah, I think it was safer, you know, for me to wait outside after last time. She's like, okay, I mean, okay. He was like, Ozzy wants you back. She's like, I'm sure he does. She's like, between the damn police interview and the footage that was dropped tonight, honey, he's in some deep shit. But if I come back, that nigga's gonna have to play by my fucking rules, which I doubt he can. And baby, she talking about him like a dog, right? And so the window rolls down from a Cash's car, and that's his ass sitting up in there. It wouldn't be the first time that somebody would underestimate me. Nigga, you confusing me, man. He leans out the window, look, 10 minutes, that's all I need. And she looks at Cash, and he's looking like, I mean, you know, it's fine, so she invites him in his home. She invites him into her home. Oh, wow, he says, you have a beautiful home. She's like, thank you, but keep your voice down. My daughter's sleeping. He's like, well, how old is she? She's like, Ozzy, nigga, what the fuck do you want? He sits on her stairs. He says, I messed up. I know that now. She was like, yeah, nigga, more than once. So he sits on her stairs and tells his story about, he saw a post about some chick said that she saw him at the airport back in 2017 and that he was so into himself that he didn't even stop to take a selfie with her. And so she feels like he murdered that girl. He was like, how the fuck did that turn from a selfie to a murderer? Anyway, he says, I remember that moment and I remember that day really well because I was trying to get back to my sick grandmammy. So he said when he got off the plane, his mammy had texted him and told her that the grandmama had went on to glory, honey. She died. Gone. That's it. So Jax is like, and? So you might as well bring your ass back on to LA, his mama says, so you won't miss the Kids' Choice Awards. Like, damn, the boy just lost his grandmammy. This actor who's playing him is really playing quirky, crazy, cool, really, really well. I'm loving his facial expressions, his mannerisms. For those of you who are new, I'm an actress. I've been acting theater for almost 15 years. And I look at a lot of these shows in a more artistic point of view. I look at the plot too, because I love the scripting in the show. But I'm loving how he's really coming off like there is something wrong with him and how the way his family is handling him, like with very white glove, very careful type of stuff. Something is wrong. And I like how he's playing the role. So he was like, thanks, Mom. He continues with the story. He says, and then here comes this lady. saying his, his favorite phrase, "Pow pow, gotcha." He says, I couldn't respond. He said, I couldn't do that shit. He said, this lady decided that she knew everything about me in less than 30 seconds. Damn. So he's saying, today I was in a room full of people who was just coddling me, like his mother, father, Brandy. Brandy is like his manager. He was like, not you, Jax, not you, bitch. You told me exactly who I was. You told me the truth, even if I didn't want to hear that shit. So he was like, you did me the same way that Wendy did. So Jax is like, fuck that. Do you really believe that she's alive? He told me, I pray to God that she is. Okay. Remember, he's an actor. Some see, I don't know. So he was like, well, it wasn't me. She was like, even if it wasn't, there's a lot of people out there. Except for Wendy's sister and her assistant, they believe you did that shit. He was like, well, they just mad at me because I missed a few of Nisha's calls. Okay, Nisha is the assistant, but she could have definitely got a hold of me if she really wanted to, like a text or a voice note or a damn voice message. She could have left me something. He's just, you could tell he's very, very hyper about this whole situation. She was like, look, nigga, you need to get yourself a good night's sleep. All right. So she tells him that he could stay there at her house for a few hours. So he leaves to go freshen up in the bathroom. And Corey was like, are you sure that it's okay that he can stay here? What the fuck is Lewis going to say? He's like, well, she said, well, look, Lewis's ass ain't here right now. So she said, Aunty can't go home. And since I'm not stupid, neither can you. So since you're here, baby, you're going to go ahead and post up your ass right in that hallway and keep watch. All right. He looking like, oh. And he says slap. Y'all know what slap means. Sound like a plan. So he goes and sits in the hallway. There's so much sexual tension between them. Eventually, they're going to do it. I just know they're going to do it eventually. So she gets, Ozzy settled in. So she picks up the phone to call Lewis. She does a FaceTime. So, Lewis is still there with Tony trying to do the room. So Tony looks at the phone. Lewis looks at the phone. She's talking about, well, I mean, if she's going to keep calling, you might as well go. And that nigga did not answer the phone. He did not. Damn, Lewis. So she's gets mad and Cash is, sleep on her floor, posted up against the wall. And she sits beside him and looks at him. And then she goes back through her memories, asking Lewis about how many times did he fuck Tony. He said 4 times. She's like, when was the first time? He says, when I saw your ass with Damon. And of course, she's like, what happened all those other times? He's like, look, we got high and drunk one night and I didn't wear no condom, all right? So she's just going through that memory in her mind. I never found out what happened to his hand. Because like most of season 2, his hand was wrapped the fuck up. What happened to his hand, y'all? Can y'all tell me? So she finishes her memory sequence. So Cash is still sitting there asleep. And so she leans her head on his shoulder and he feels her head on his shoulder. He looks at her like, are you okay? She was like, I'm not sure yet. So we're back at Tony's house. And so he's taking down the crib and stuff. So she tells him, I'm really glad you did this. And he was like, me too. So while he's taking it down, her mind goes back to when they fucked. Because we never saw them do their little scene. It was good. I mean, so she's standing there reminiscing and looking and looking and looking. And so she runs to him, try to kiss him. And he was like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Don't say that this is not what you wanted, Lewis. This is not why I came here, he says. Right. She says, you came here for me to sign those goddamn papers. That's what you did, because you clearly don't give a fuck about me or our child. Ooh, she has such a huge breakdown. She signs the paper, throws it at him. Hopefully she didn't sign it like how old girl did, just said, fuck you on the NDA from season 2. But anyway, she's like, you get to get everything. You get to get Jax, you get to get the promotion, you get to go back to your life. Well, I have to be in this room with memories, of a potential, and my babe wow, she just really broke down. You can tell she's a good actress too. Without her saying anything, you can see that there's a lot of mental breakdowns behind her eyes. So she finally breaks down and screams while at the nursery. Then they did a little scene at the hospital when he got there, and she was screaming again. That lady can holler. Do you hear me? my baby Jaden is gone. I'm like, yes, baby. Because she always wanted a son. She got 2 daughters, and she was really, really looking forward to having that baby boy. So she breaks away from his embrace and said, get the fuck out of my house. See, Lewis is a good dude. Lewis, you should have known that there was nothing good that was going to come out of that baby. I mean, I understand your intent, but baby boy, nah, no good could come out of that, darling. So we wake up the next day. Jax gets a phone call from the defense attorney, Mr. Ortiz. I can't remember his first name. And she was like, good news or bad news? He was like, well, it depends on whose side you're on. So they whispering, so you see Ozzy waking up. Say, everything all right? So Cash was like, nah, man, it ain't. So Jax tells him that they found Wendy's body near his cabin that he has in Wrightwood. And they found the gun that, they found the piece of iron that killed her. And it's a match. The gun is a match to a gun that was registered to him. He like, no. So Naima comes out of the bedroom like, what the fuck all this screaming shit in my house? Mom, what's going on? Girl, go back to the bedroom, honey. Go back to the bed. So Ozzy is still in like fucking shock. Okay. He's just crying. She's like, look, Ozzy, baby, I'm sorry about Wendy, but with your police interview, with your registration and the arguments and the videos and all of that, baby, they are going to arrest you for Wendy's murder. I can't go to jail, Jax. I can't. So she's like, look, I need for you to take a breath, okay? I'm going to the DA's office to make sure that I can negotiate your arrest, all right? Please don't go, he says. Please don't go, because she says Corey will stay there with him. He's begging her not to go. So she says, I just got to touch base with Bill first to see if he can go to the office and talk with Chad to negotiate that for you. So Bill is there at the office talking with him, without trying to confess to any type of guilt. Bill says to Chad, we both know that manslaughter is definitely off the table. So he says, but you're going to have a real problem trying to convince everybody that, Mr. Edwards had killed her beyond reasonable doubt. Y'all better go ahead and throw the term in this show. Of course you would. Because he has no record. They've been together for 2 years. No history of criminal violence or activities toward her at all. Now, Chad has his cold black hair and his gray beard. He's a cutie pie. I don't remember seeing him before, but maybe he was on the last couple of seasons, but I just don't remember seeing him. He says it's pretty much, second degree, not first, because everything is pretty much laid out. So Chad was like, okay, good. I like my wins easy. And so Bill was like, fuck that. We ain't definitely going to make this shit easy. So Bill tells him that, that Ozzy is at Jax's house. So please send an unmarked car over there. No handcuffs. Just make this nice and easy. Chad was like, absolutely fucking not. Just because your client is a superstar, that don't mean he gonna get some fucking special treatment. So is we done, Chad says. So Bill was looking and like, damn. So he sees that Chad is an ex-military. And we all know that Bill spent 10 years, I think he said, in the military. So let's see that. I guess he found a connection that he can talk with Chad. I'm sure he's going to use that angle to try and see what they can do about giving Ozzy the star treatment to go to jail. Okay, so what he's saying that we find out that Chad wants to be a run for DA. So he was like, well, I understand that you should know about the fact that when you running for DA, the average person don't give a fuck about Ozzy going through the back door. But what you do need to realize is that if you give this a whole parade and show of Ozzy going through the front door for TZT and everybody, all of the donors that you would have had, it might backfire on your ass because, all these rich ass donors got these troubled ass kids, and they're going to think twice about next time their son or daughter gets a DUI charge, because they're not going to donate to your ass because you're troublesome. They're not going to support you. They're going to support the person that knows how to keep things on the low. So he did convince him. So Chad, let me ask your ask again. How do you think Ozzy Edwards should be arrested? Because what he said was like 100% true. Them DAs, the money bags, they don't want them kids to be all in public. Can y'all imagine how many money bag kids get arrested and get in trouble that we don't know about? that's not in public, that we don't see them wear those little them jail cuffs and nothing like that. Child, please, they get through everything. So he calls Jax, tells her, what he did, and so she thanks him. So she tells Corey that they have about 30 minutes. My thing is this: I know that Tony kicked Lewis out like during the nighttime. Why is it the next day and Lewis is not home? I don't get that. Why you ain't home, bro? Where did you go? Okay. Continue to talk to Ozzy. He says he still can't believe what's going on, what's happening. So she breaks it down, tells him that the LAPD is going to come to her house and arrest him there. He's going to be charged with second-degree murder, arresting, committing a crime, without premeditation. It was right at the moment. So, yeah. And I tell you, I never want to get arrested because the way she breaking it down, how the police are going to come in there and damn, read him his rights and then take him to the damn station, and every inch of him is going to be photographed and searched. I'm stressed just hearing about all this shit. And then he's going to have his wonderful mugshot. She says it is embarrassing. It is humiliating. So what the fuck is you going to do while all this shit is happening? All right. So he's like, I don't know. And Cash just tells him, look, just breathe. So she tells him that a bail bondsman is going to be working on his bail. So he's just going to go through this just for the arrest. I don't think they're going to keep him in jail. Hopefully they don't. So she says you have 27 minutes before your world changes forever. So you could take a shower if you want, get yourself together. I'll even make you something to eat. So right before he leaves, he tells Jax and Corey that he didn't kill Wendy. As soon as he goes in there in the bathroom, he calling some dude named Alex. Alex didn't pick up the phone. He leaves a voicemail. You stupido. Alex, where the fuck are you? How you not answering your phone, bro? They found Wendy's body, he says. We gotta talk. This is a voicemail that he's leaving on somebody else's. Yes, like I said, something strange about that baby. He's looking at himself in the mirror in the bathroom. Yes, I'm Ozzy Edwards. And he keeps slapping himself. All right. And so the cops come in there and take his ass away. So they take him off. And so Corey says, wow, you was able to get a high celebrity, get arrested without the press getting the word of it. He says, I think that's a win. And so she was like, yeah, for today, because that damn interview with the assistant and the sister, that's just the beginning, honey. This is going to be a big fucking case, but that's what you wanted, bitch. You said in the last episode, you was getting bored as fuck and you needed something big, and that's exactly what you getting, honey. So he was like, well, at least, you might want my help. She was like, yeah, you could be second chair. He's like, oh, okay. You can, I'll get your coffee. I'll write your notes for you. I'll highlight everything. She's like, I can't with you. He was like, honestly, my heart is in Chicago, legally and romantically. So, yeah. She said, I get it. He said, and besides, I wouldn't want your husband to beat me up, and speaking of, it's like, because again, it's the next morning because she just checked her phone and he was like, where the fuck is he? I mean, the last time you mentioned it, there was a baby and you weren't damn pregnant. So y'all good? Yeah, we're good, she says. He was like, good. Keep me posted. On the case, I mean, She was like, So he was still there. I thought she told him to leave. Okay. I guess he didn't leave because he's still there. It's the next morning. He's still moving out furniture and stuff. So, okay. Shit, Lewis is going through memories. He's holding the little baby Philadelphia Eagles onesie, and he's remembering talking to baby Jaden in the hospital. I don't think that was a real baby, of course. They really made that mechanical baby. But anyway, he's talking to him, you're going to be a gamer like me. He really was looking forward to that baby. So they have a very connecting moment. He says he's sorry. She tries to apologize too. He says it's okay. Grief can make people do some strange things. And I understand that so well. Yeah, I really do. If you don't know, if you're new, I've lost my mom, a little over 2 years ago. And so there's some strange things that's been happening. And, that doesn't mean that's the core of that person. It's just strange, So, he asks her, can he keep the little jersey, the little onesie, the Philadelphia Eagles onesie, and she told him, yeah. So we see we see Ozzy getting his picture taken, and the scratches are showing on his chest. Yeah. So they show these series of scenes with him and Jax. Ozzy and Jax, pretty much the same things are happening to them. When he was naked, she was about to get in the shower. They were swiping his mouth for his DNA. She was brushing her teeth, things like that. So yeah. So they played this whole montage of him getting arrested. Like I stated earlier, we found out his bill is $500,000, and they give him back his phone. I bet you that is very invasive. I bet you that's so weird. But you do the crime, you got to do the time, babe. So in the midst of that, one of the cops had given him like a piece of paper for him to autograph. Because he was like, man, I'm in the midst of, going through this shit and you want my autograph? All right, I'll give it to you. This is like a whole non-speaking music montage, and they playing Nipsey Hussle. His shit is so good. One thing they have done about this show is that they definitely have thrown Nipsey all throughout these seasons. I really do love it. So the next morning, Lewis finally gets home, and so he asked her how she was doing. She said, I'm surprisingly not too well. I didn't really get a lot of sleep. And she tells him about the fact that they found Wendy, and they found her up there near one of Ozzy's cabins, and that they arrested him here at the house. And he was like, wait a minute, here at our house? She was like, yes. So she says the rest was peaceful. She had Bill negotiate the arrest, and she was not alone. Corey was here, and he looking like, fuck. So he was like, all night? She was like, yeah, most of the night, but he was in the hallway. Ozzy slept on the couch. Naima was in her room. So he said, yeah, a lot did happen. So he sat down beside her on the bed. He was like, honestly, I didn't realize that I needed that just as much as Tony did. And she looking like, He was like, yeah, it was good to talk about him, to say Jaden's name. So he said he was going to take the clothes and the toys and donate it, to some shelter. And so she was still holding her breath, giving him time to decompress. And he was like, yes. She signed the document, and no, I didn't sleep with her. She's like, damn, nigga. I was wondering when you was going to get to the punchline. He was like, yeah, I know it. I did get there eventually. She said, yep, you always do. They gave each other a kiss. I can't remember where I saw him on, but he played on this basketball show that came on MTV a long time ago. It was a really good basketball show. It was a breaking something. I can't remember, but he was very, very smooth on there, and he's smooth on here. I'm not used to him having the locks and shit, but yeah, it was a really good basketball show. I hate that they only stayed on for like a season. It wasn't on for long, but it was really good. He told her, he's like, and you were right. She still was carrying feelings for me. She was like, see, niggas, I told you, a woman always knows when another woman wants her boo. He said, well, it doesn't matter now because I'm your husband and you are my wife. And every day, each and every day, those two statements are as real as fuck. So while they're talking about going to get some breakfast, which it's the next morning, y'all. So I might have to get me some breakfast. They talk about French toast and shit. So it was ready to go before it got too crowded. And so they get a doorbell ring. And so he goes to check the door, and you can hear Lewis tell the person or ask them, what the fuck you doing here? So she goes there too. And we see this man standing there, and he says, hey, baby. She's like, hey, daddy, what are you doing here? So the daddy, we were supposed to meet him last season, but we finally meet Pappy Jax. And that is the end of episode number 2 on season 3 of Reasonable Doubt. So let me go ahead and get this mishmash together. Thank you all for listening, and I will see y'all in the next video. I don't think that I'm going to be ready to do the current episode of us, because I think the current episode comes on 13th. I'm going to try to get them all done, though. That's my goal. And then next season 4, I should be able to be more current. But I'm getting through it, baby. I'm powering through, baby. Auntie is getting it through. Doing my Beyond the Gates, and I'm doing Reasonable Doubt. And when Divorce Sisters come, I'm coming back with that, too. I'm coming back strong. So let's get it popping. Nick.